let's get going. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry.
Oh, I can't find my lucky mic.
Thank God.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 593.
Hey, that means we're going to be at like 600 before we know it. That's
I know.
lot.
And Daryl told me, producer Dub told me the other day, he goes, we're almost at 500,000 downloads. I'm like, hey, it only took 10 years. Actually, we think it's more, but based only
best
on
that
this,
you can.
It's the best that he can do. But he's like, I'm fairly confident it's more than that, but it's hard to tell.
But that's okay. We'll go with the conservative and just hope for the I mean, it's still amazing. I mean, gosh, we're just two sisters that.
It was funny because I said, "Are we close to 1 million downloads yet?" I was feeling really cocky one day, and I go,
"We have to be."
I go, "We're close to 1 million downloads." He's like, "No," and I'm like, "What?"
You just broke 100,000, girl. No, I'm kidding.
No, but then he did the math. He goes, we're pretty close to 500,000 though. I'm like, okay, that's not bad considering that the first like 5 years were very inconsistent.
Correct.
And that's true. And we were also only doing like 1 or 2 shows a month at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, in the beginning, it was all hodgepodge, and we were just like, "Are we really gonna?" Yeah, I mean, it was
like,
for
"Are we
fun.
gonna be serious about this?" You know, it's like,
well, we had the idea for so many years, and
so true.
Making it come to fruition is a completely different thing.
So true. So Aaron Carter died.
I know,
and the thing
you know what? I wasn't that surprised, but I was sad.
He was 34. He had a son named Prince, and he was found in his bathtub. And I had heard or read something that at some point the emergency people had called for Narcan
to try to revive him,
which means it was obviously some kind of drug overdose.
Oh, for sure. Well, the guy has. Oh my God,
he's been in rehab twice.
He has so many. Yes,
here's the thing, though.
Addiction issues, mental health. Yeah,
he might be the lightning rod for the Carter family now. But he is not the fucked up individual.
They're really
that Carter family. You think our family's fucked up? Oh no, ma'am. The Carter family is fucked up.
Oh,
like
guy.
Now the superstar, the one that everybody knows, is Nick Carter because he was in the Backstreet Boys.
Oh right. Well, Aaron Carter, in his own right, was quite famous in his younger years.
When he was younger. In fact, I think he did a movie with Hilary Duff, and Hilary Duff posted the other day how heartbroken she was. She's like, when I was a teenager, I was completely in love with you because
he was so cute.
He was a cutie pie. He was like the OG Justin Bieber. And so I was looking to, listen to some of his songs that made him popular, and all I see is this little like 7th grader on an album cover.
I know.
He was so young.
I know that's part of what makes me sad because I feel yeah, like
totally.
This road he's been on has led to this. Well, he had inevitable end.
He had addictions, and he had terrible parents. And Nick had no choice, but he literally filed a restraining order against his own brother.
I know, because he was out of his mind.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was dangerous,
very dangerous.
It's really, really sad that it came to that.
To me, and they have a sister. Yeah, and to me, I just think as somebody who has sisters, and we came from a fairly dysfunctional childhood, we're so fortunate that although we are dysfunctional and we do therapy and we do all the things to write what we can, some of these people just simply can't.
Yeah, they don't.
And they rely on, all other things. And it just makes me sad. And although, he had many opportunities.
No, he did. But I guess, if you've ever dealt with addiction, you just know that, you can do it, even if you have the best champions in your family circle.
You can have the best of everything, have the most money.
And it won't matter.
Nope.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend about it the other day, and she was like, there's those, because her mom thinks she's kind of hard on her kids. And she's like, look, if I don't do it now, she goes, there's parents who do everything right, and one of their kids will still fuck up.
Yeah, because everybody's got their own personality.
Right. She goes, so if I do everything right now, she goes, I'm still not guaranteed that one of my kids isn't going to fuck up.
That's right.
She's like, so I have to do everything I can.
As much as you can.
She's like, I can't fuck it up and give them, and be positive that one's going to fuck up because I was so fucked up.
Yeah, you just got to give them a fighting chance. At least you got to try.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, he died. Also, I don't know if you remember... Okay, you know the movie Julie and Julia?
Yeah, she died.
Julie Powell died.
Yes, sad.
And she had a heart attack.
Oh, is that what killed her?
Yes, she had a heart attack, and she was 49.
Yeah, so young.
First of all, it's the number one cause of death in women.
It scares me so bad.
Heart
I have heart palpitations. I'm like, oh God, is this it?
That's anxiety, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, no, and I've had a doctor tell me, like, you should be on fish oil. You should be working out, you know, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes. But
scary.
Here's what sucks about her dying. I mean, it sucks that she died at 49, which is incredibly untimely. Oh my gosh. Number one. Yes. But her last tweet of all, she had a tweet. She tweeted the day before she passed away. And this is what it said. This I related to this, and I'll tell you why. So she said, this was her last tweet. So I woke up with something called black hairy tongue. People, including my doctor, seem to think it's no big deal and will go away soon, but it certainly is gross. And then she died.
Did she die? Was it something?
No.
That is the weirdest thing I've
ever heard. I did far too much research on something as disgusting as black hairy tongue. First of all, I'm trying not to judge her because I don't know why she had it. But black hairy tongue, number one cause is bad oral hygiene.
Oh, well, that can give you a heart attack too.
Yes, it can.
By the way.
Yeah. Trust, I connected all these dots.
I never knew that oral hygiene had direct correlation
gum disease
with your heart.
It's gum disease. And I have my original dentist actually said, I think you have adolescent gingivitis, which is something that you just were born with, like almost.
You'll just always have.
You'll always have it.
Yeah.
So I go to the dentist every 4 months. I do deep cleanings. I do all the treatments daily.
Yeah.
Because I am not going to die from gum disease, for God's sake. So I was like, okay, black hairy tongue, bad oral hygiene, alcoholism, drug addiction, things where your mouth would just be a cesspool.
Oh, yeah.
Is why these things happen. Sometimes antibiotics can do it too. And I'm like, okay, this woman clearly had some health issues that no one either knew about, or she was an alcoholic, or she had bad gums. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But black hairy tongue really was a symptom of something nefarious.
Oh, for sure.
And then she just died.
That's so terrible.
But Stephanie, if my last social media statement...
Would you want to... Can somebody please just tweet one more thing?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm giving you, in my will, there's an envelope actually, for real.
Okay.
With my passwords.
Oh, okay.
So that you can manage and shut it down.
If I have to send one more thing before we announce your passing, that way they'll think
it's got to be something good.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even have, but just delete anything embarrassing.
It just can't be that.
Delete my search history. You are in charge of all of it. You will erase.
Oh, well, isn't Daryl doing all that stuff too?
I don't want Daryl to see what I'm searching when I'm by myself. Okay.
Well, I thought you guys are so transparent.
We are transparent, but he doesn't know what the level of my stalking ability is.
Okay.
He has no idea. He'd be like, this was a girl that I kissed when I was 16 years old. Why does she care what she's doing yesterday?
True.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
Women are mental. I don't care.
Indeed. Yeah.
And I know I'm not normal.
Yeah.
I mean, not normal, but I know that I am just like a lot of other women.
Yeah, I try to remember to delete that stuff from time to time because
I clear my history regular.
It would be shocking.
The only one that I frankly do not stalk is his ex-wife.
Because you just don't care.
I just give zero fucks. But other than that, there are random
people random. Yeah.
When he posts something and he gets a lot of likes, I'll go to the likes and go, who's this bitch? Who's Kelly?
See, the thing with me, it's always very refreshing because anybody who likes anything on the rare occasion that my husband does post something on social media, and it's usually when somebody really famous dies that he liked. Other than that, it's so few and far between.
Sure.
He'll get likes with me tagging him on things with our son.
Sure. Yes.
And then I'll look at those.
And you're like, who's this?
But every time I look at it, it looks like someone's grandmother. They're so old that I'm like,
old client.
I'm like, no, they're like high school friend. But everybody's ancient.
Yeah.
Everyone he knows is like old as fuck.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I forgot.
I have to remember that he's old. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? It doesn't even matter.
That's hilarious and true.
And
anyway,
so true.
I'm so sorry that she passed away.
Yeah, that was sad.
And I wish that I had followed the writer a little bit more because the woman who portrayed her in the movie, Amy Adams, I absolutely hate.
Do you hate Amy Adams?
I cannot with her.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we all have our celebrities that we hate for no real reason.
Well, I have a list.
Oh, okay.
I hate Anne Hathaway too.
Well, I do too, but I don't really have a reason.
I don't have a reason for hating any of these women. I don't even know them.
You don't know them. That's true.
But Amy Adams won.
I mean, unless they do something publicly, like on a,
like an award show
or an issue that they're stand behind that gets on my nerves.
I don't. Yeah. the politics, I just completely shut down. I don't even listen. But Amy Adams won an Oscar a few years ago. Maybe it was 5 years ago. It was for, I don't even know.
Enchanted?
No. Like, and there's a new Enchanted coming out, by the way, and she looks horrible. And I'm like, why are we pushing this bitch?
Because,
God. Yeah, Anyway, she won an Oscar for some role, and I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it was good. And she's a good actress, I'm sure, you know, but she really had drunk her own Kool-Aid. And she was just like, I just want to thank my daughter, my best friend. Her daughter's like 18 months old.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like,
she's my everything. It's like,
shut up.
And she's developing an accent, you know, some
Suddenly,
kind of elitist accent. And I'm like, oh my God, why? You're just a crazy actress.
Like, I've made it. And by the way, they give each other these awards. Yeah. This is literally like a group of assholes that pat each other on the back and be like, it's so fun to be rich and famous, isn't it?
Wonderful that I got to
look at us.
I just the other day.
You're fantastic. You're amazing.
Oh no, honey.
My God. No, you're amazing. I would puke if I went to. That's why nobody watches award shows anymore.
I just watch the red carpet.
We watch it for the fashion.
That's it.
That's literally it.
Yeah. And I love judging it. I love being critical, and I'm like, why did they put her in gray again?
Yeah, no,
What's with the drapes?
It's not. It's okay. I take it back. It is the fashion, but it's the fashion on the person they put it on too.
For sure.
Because it's like, okay, you had. I can only imagine the choices.
Months.
How many choices you had by the most, and that's what you picked to wear?
Yeah.
That?
Now, the women who have normal bodies, they struggle because a lot of those houses will not dress anyone over a size 4, which is absolutely criminal.
It is.
But so, you know, there's amazing designers who will dress them, and I love it. That part I love because just because you're not a size 0 doesn't mean that you shouldn't look fantastic.
Well, one of the best parts of watching,
hate that.
I do too. One of the things I love about watching in fashion is the icons like Meryl Streep, Jane Fonda, whomever. You know, they're much older and they've had their heyday. They had their, but they look amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
Because they're not stupid anymore. They've made those mistakes in the past. It's like, why would I wear this when I cannot pull this off? And this is like the worst color for me.
It's like I'm gonna wear what I have, and I'm gonna have
wear
something handmade,
age appropriate, and the right color. Right. I mean, at least you figure out those things as you get older.
I'm a winter. I would never wear a summer color.
Yeah, I'm not wearing peach ever.
I don't care if it's the in color this year. No. It's not going to be mine.
It makes me look like a ghost. I'm not wearing it. No.
The most respected I had the most respect for, and this is when I started looking at celebrity women a little bit differently, was when Sharon Stone showed up with a white Gap button-up men's shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And this gorgeous black skirt.
She did look beautiful.
She's like, I hated what they gave me, and I put on something that I feel really good in. And she looked amazing.
She did.
And I'm like,
she did.
Oh, that's someone breaking the rules. And I love it.
And she looks great.
And she looked amazing.
And men do it all the time.
They do. And when they don't, they look stupid.
They do look stupid because they have like one look. You know what I mean?
They have the tuxedo.
You have a tux and a tie or not a tie.
And
you know.
That's it.
And I don't like the ones who try to go too casual, like they don't take them to themselves and they don't wear socks and stuff like that. I'm like, no, you can't get away with that. Women can't. No,
women can't either.
No, they really can't. I don't like the. Yeah. I mean, I've seen Kristen, what's that chick's name that played the Princess Diana? What's her name? We hate her.
Oh, Kristen Stewart?
Yes. Every time she goes to an award show, she looks like homeless or something.
She looks like she doesn't bathe, and I hate that look.
I know.
It's not grunge. It looks dirty. It's just dirty.
It does. It looks unkempt.
Come on, you look like you have BO, please.
Seriously.
I mean, if you're this stunning, gorgeous lady who
she really is beautiful. She must have insecurity issues. I don't know what her problem is.
I would agree with
that. That is true. Like, who are you? Find out who you are. No, from a fashion standpoint. I don't mean like
no. I understand.
Like, pick a thing and what looks good at you, and that's yes.
Yes. If I was a celebrity, I'd be wearing black constantly.
Same.
Maybe a navy blue on occasion. I would be all about Calvin Klein
for sure.
They are so simple and clean lines, and that's what I need. I am too short and curvy. I cannot.
No.
And then I need like fucking a garter around my gut.
They do make those things
to make myself flat on the side profiles, because they want to do the side and go, is she pregnant this time? She's in her 40s or 50s, whatever. You know, it's like, no, I just had pizza last night.
I know, right?
I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, why can't people just be the size they are?
I know.
Oh, you know why I was thinking about that? Because once again, it happens once or twice a year. Pierce Brosnan's wife is a topic of discussion. Now his first wife passed away and he remarried and they had 5 children together. She's in love with, they're in love with each other completely. Sweet. Now, Pierce Brosnan is very attractive.
Oh, he is gorgeous.
He's graying. He's aging well.
They all do. I hate you.
But he's probably starving because he's an actor.
I'm sure.
He's very, very thin.
Men they just don't carry weight the same way if they gain it for the most part.
Well, they get in their belly.
Unless they were prone to that body type, like from youth.
Sure.
Like, somebody like Seth, what's his name? No, not Seth Rogen. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Like, just generally, he's probably been chubby since birth, right?
So when he thins out, he looks
great. But
right.
I mean, if
I know
eat one cheeseburger and you've gone,
he's got boobs again.
20, yeah, you know what I mean.
So
other men are thin always.
And she was a stunner when they got married, but she was also like in her 20s.
Yeah.
She was really young, but they've been in love and everything. Well, now she looks like me, except she's tall. Mm-hmm. She's almost taller than him. She's a very tall woman. So she's got
saving grace.
Huge boobs. She's got a great body. She's just not a size 0 anymore.
Right.
And she's is
older.
older.
Like a 6 or an 8.
They're in their 50s. I mean, she's older and they've had 5 kids, like I said. Anyway, so once or twice a year.
She looks normal, in other words.
The UK press gets a picture of them going somewhere and they're like, they ask him all the time. They're like, don't you miss your wife when she was tiny? And he's like, again, I love every inch of my wife.
Oh my God.
I don't give a shit. I don't see what you see. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She is gorgeous, by the way. She's just ravishing. And she's the mother of my 5 children.
Yeah.
Please fuck off.
Right?
And why?
I don't know why.
Because his body type has not changed because he's an actor.
Yes. Well, part of their job is to be attractive.
Their body is their product.
It's their job.
Right.
Yeah, it's absolutely their job. I'm sure they probably hate it. I've heard actors say that, yes. But I've heard actors and actresses say that when they give up the business or when they tire, like, I'm not going to do this anymore. They're like, I was starving for 30 years.
Oh yeah. And
like, I'm
miserable.
Always hungry. Yeah.
By the way, I think that makes them a little nuts.
Of course it does.
They're just constantly angry and barren. Agitated.
They can't have children.
They can't have kids.
Yeah.
And then there was another person. So Christina Applegate has MS.
God, I know.
I just am devastated for her.
Her and the other one
that they did the sweetest thing together with.
I know.
I can't remember her name. She's had it for a minute.
Selma Blair
also. And she went through chemo and everything.
I know.
Like, she really was trying to fight this thing at every angle.
Is it just...
it's an autoimmune disorder.
I know it's an autoimmune disorder, but is it just because there's so many actors and actresses over the years that it's just the numbers? Or is there something in the water?
Stephanie, I don't know.
When you're a celebrity and you starve or you
I'm just
whatever.
Wondering, well, that's my curiosity. Is it this constant damage that they're doing to their bodies to stay a certain size or a certain weight or whatever, and they go through these very unhealthy rituals,
diets and things, and all the stuff they do.
I mean, I don't even know about.
Kendall Jenner is out of her mind. That girl.
I would agree.
She's nuts. I mean, she's so crazy, the things that she does in the name of health, quote unquote. And she's like 24 and I'm like, crazy. Dude, I'm like, you're
Look what happened to Chloe. Chloe's in a nut job too.
God.
Anyway, so Christina Applegate, something
about the pressure.
It has to be. The third season of that show, Dead to Me, is coming out.
I know.
They had paused production for like 6 months because she got this diagnosis because she was very ill. And so I don't know if it was a PR thing, but they're just like, she's like, I've gained 40 pounds. I have a cane. I give 0 fucks.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm like, she's probably the happiest she's ever been.
Probably,
I mean, outside
except
of the
for the fact that she's fighting a disease now.
Which is horrifying. But I mean, she looks normal to me.
She looked normal to me too.
Legitimately, I was like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I didn't see it either. She sees it because she spent her
a lot.
Well, yeah, and she's spent her life, like we said, being thin and and being beautiful and all of that. Yeah, I was really sad about that, but I'm really happy the way she is embracing it. And
oh my God,
the way she's handling it publicly.
She's one of my most favorite actresses. Actually,
me too.
I think she's the least. One of the less crazies in Hollywood. Whatever gets you into the business and makes you stay there, there's a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of needing, you know,
and as a woman, there's so much rejection.
Tons.
We see these women in these roles and in these amazing movies or shows or whatever, and you think, God, they, you know, but no, they have been told no 100 times more than they've been told.
And they get a half a yes occasionally. It's insane.
Yeah. And then we're like, yay, you know, we love them in this, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, how many times did they have to get told they were too fat, they were too ugly, they were too old, they were too whatever, until they get this
I would never survive.
Oh, me either.
I can't even take a comparison to Kelly Clarkson without losing my shit for 2 weeks.
I'm telling you, we're moving seats. We're moving seats at work. We've been in the same area of our office for 5 years. So the management's like, we're moving you guys. We need your space. So I can't even choose we're bidding on seats. You bid by seniority, right? That's how petty we are at the county.
That's fine. Whatever.
So I'm second senior in my unit. And
cool. So you get first rights of refusal,
second
basically.
Rights, but yeah. So I couldn't even do that without having 3 days worth of anxiety, because I was so concerned about who would, in my mind, be stuck sitting next to me.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, they're gonna hate me. I'm loud. I can't hear. So I'm always high. I'm always loud, like 3 times higher than any other person. I have anxiety, so I talk a lot.
Oh boy.
And so I was like, God, no one was saying anything, but in my mind, I'm like, no one wants to sit by me.
Aww.
And now wherever
you've created this whole backstory.
And my bestie's like, shut the fuck up. She's like, I'm like, you're the only one who could tolerate me regularly.
Aww,
and she's like, that's not true. She's like, would you stop?
That's a lie.
But yeah, so
but we do build up our
being
craziness.
a celebrity.
You'd be an amazing actress, Stephanie. You'd be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I come with my little pocket knife and slit the first throat that said something bad to me. I'm like, what?
Oh my God. Well, I always figured, and I think you and I have always talked about this, like if we ever became famous, like actresses wise, because we could totally be actresses.
Yeah. I don't think it's that hard of a job.
Honestly, there's different variances of acting. I think there are people like Meryl Streep and people who take it as it's a craft and it's a masterclass.
Johnny Depp. Oh my God.
Whatevs, right? And so, then there are people who are like, they fall into it because their dad's a producer or whatever, and they're funny and it's great. Yeah. And they kind of grow into it, or they fall out of it,
whatever happens. Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. All I know is that my sisters would be 100% be my entourage. There's no doubt I would be like. A lot of
people do that.
Oh, hell yeah. Kaylee Cuoco's sister was her assistant. And that's a horrible name because she was literally her ride or die all the way through her career.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And her sister ultimately is she's a performer, but she sings, she dances, she, does some like theater work. Uh-huh. But she did get some roles because of who she was and how she kind of got in the business. Right. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's how
it's nepotism 100%.
It does, it's like that goes on everywhere.
And you still have to carry your own.
You do.
You can't just
if you're terrible, they don't care who you know.
They'll be like, you know what? Maybe you could just be
How many celebrity parents have we seen try to get their kids in the business and they're terrible?
Yeah, because they want to be an actress.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Jaden Smith, he was in Karate Kid 2. Wasn't great. I mean, he did it. He pulled it off for a child his age for sure. And I do like that movie, by the way.
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like the only one that watches it.
Only one that saw it.
Jeff watched it with me when it first came out, but then, no one else. And when I put it on, Jerry's like, ugh, really? I'm like, shut up.
Okay, so I've had some really weird thoughts this week. I don't know why, but one was I follow Goldie Hawn on Instagram.
I do too.
She's
and her sister, our mom. Oh my God.
Her mother? You mean her daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kate
Hudson is
I'm on my period, so I couldn't be any more awkward. I'm stuttering. I'm tripping over things.
Oh, wait till you hear my awkward moment. Anyway, so I follow Goldie Hawn, and she's doing this new thing called Mind Up. She wants kids to understand their brains when they're in school. It's like we force them to, we require them to learn with their brains, and yet we teach them nothing about the science of their brain.
Oh, okay.
So she's trying to incorporate the school program and everything, and I'm like, I fucking love Goldie Hawn for starters. Yeah. I love how she's so hippy dippy. I love it.
I love that too.
And she's amazing.
But she's, according to her daughter, she's a total diva.
Yes, that's why I love her.
Yeah.
Look at her.
So she's a hippy dippy, but she's like,
I will not. She's just like, where's my caviar? Yeah, she's probably just like, Andrew.
Yes.
Am I supposed to take a lemon? Am I going to get the lemon? I'm going to squeeze it from my hat.
I mean, I think we've talked about that. One of the reasons why we love that movie. Because no one could have played that role better than her.
No. And Kurt Russell,
I think it was very real for her. Like, if I had to live in squalor, this is how I would be.
No, I'm tacky. I mean, it's like, I'm not a bitch. I love it. Right. But anyway, I was watching her. I don't want to go in the water barrel again. So Kate Hudson was being interviewed, and she was talking about how her mom literally tried to put her hands in her vagina when her daughter was born.
I remember. I've heard Kate say that
And she's like, oh, no, she was going to be a part of it. Now, I've told all my girls, I'm like, if you choose to have kids, trust, I will be right there with the doctor.
But not with your hands in their vagina, I hope. That's just gross.
No, I would never. But I said, I really want her to be my mom.
She would be.
So bad. I want her to be my mom. And I can't be the only one.
No.
She's so amazing.
She is amazing.
I want to be her. I want to be her daughter so bad.
I know, right?
I know that's sacrilege. You're not allowed, but I
think we have mommy and daddy issues.
She's the only woman, though, that I feel that way about.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that with real people I know. Like when they're telling me about their relationships with their parents or their mothers or whatever, I'm always like, God, that's so foreign to me.
Oh man, I would love it.
And they're like, your mom's still alive and she lives 10 minutes away and you haven't seen her in 2 years. I'm like, I know. You know what? Let's just not go there.
Can we not? I don't have time.
Because I really can't explain. Yeah, I know it's weird.
Yeah.
I get
it. So this is definitely not related, but I saw this post, and this is another one of my weird thoughts I had.
Oh God.
Japanese man pushes wife into the sea to her death.
I read that.
Says he was tired.
We read the same shit.
No, I posted it on the Ugly Truth page.
Oh, maybe that's why I saw it. But I think I had seen it before because I watched.
He was tired, and so I read it. Well, he was 81, and he said he was tired of taking care of his disabled spouse. She was 79. And he pushed her off a pier into the sea.
You know, he's not the first man who's done that.
Have we talked?
Now, pushed her off a pier, that's a new one. That's a new mechanism of doing it. But there have been men who have killed their wives who were old. I
did not read what she was afflicted with.
What her ailment was.
Other than maybe just being old. But he pushed her into the sea and she didn't get out.
Well, so she probably couldn't. Maybe she was wheelchair. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know.
That's no way to die.
If you pushed me in the sea, I'd probably die. I don't think you can survive that unless you're, I
don't want to
Aquaman.
Stephanie, what a way to go.
It's awful.
There's no good way to die.
I don't think there's any good way to die. One of my worst fears is that I'm going to have like a heart attack at work or something like that.
Oh.
Where I'm going to be standing there and all of a sudden be like, and then I'm going to like collapse and I'm going to have all these people around me. Somebody call 911.
I'd be like, oh God, she soiled herself. This is it.
Seriously. Like, I didn't even think about that until just now, but yes.
She just released her bowels. Ew,
oh my God, yes.
Just moved.
I would want to die. Like, I don't want that to be my last moment.
I know. I told you.
Then I also don't want to be on the toilet at home.
Well, that's a very common
I know.
Yes.
I don't want that to be me. I hope I have some kind of sign.
Because your body starts to just lose itself and you're like, oh no, I feel like I have to poop. Just like when you're having a child.
It's true.
Your whole body just goes into some weird place and you're like, I feel like all the things. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And then suddenly you have a baby.
Right.
I didn't know I was pregnant. Oh, God.
Yeah, people didn't get that show, but I kind of did. I'm like, well, no, I don't, but I do. That's a whole nother level of denial.
Well, it's denial, but it's also, if you have any kind of feminine issues, you can bloat,
but you can feel the
not
baby.
Have a period. Not in the first 4 months.
No. I'm saying by the time you're, when you're in your second and third trimester, how do you not feel the baby?
I mean, there are women who after I had a baby, I felt like I could feel a baby kick in me for months.
Yeah, I did too.
So it's kind of like
pretty normal. But I mean, I don't know. Lauren had her foot under my rib cage for like 3 weeks.
I can't breathe.
I couldn't do any. I was like, oh, I would push it down. I was so angry at her. I'm like, stop it.
And then she comes out. You're like, you're perfect.
You're perfect. And I don't care if you stuck your foot under me. No, yeah, seriously.
It's so true. Okay, so then I had this other weird thought. So this is a traumatic event that happened in my life. Our father thought it would be hilarious to cut my bangs. I was 11.
Oh,
and it made me think about it because your son's birthday is today and he's 11.
Yeah.
So I was in 6th grade.
Oh my God, that's just cruel.
And he cut my bangs and he cut them and he gave me mini bangs. Because they were literally like up all the way almost to the hairline. They were very, very short and jagged. Because he was a fucking narcissist and a crazy person. So he thought it'd be hilarious. Well, I looked in the mirror and I was devastated. And this was on like a Sunday.
Who wouldn't be?
So
especially at that age.
I had a cowboy hat. I have always had a cowboy hat in my life. I have one currently. I wear cowboy boots. I've always been that person.
Isn't it funny how
my whole life,
like you didn't say no, like you're not.
What was I supposed to say?
Well, if I tried to do that to my son right now, he'd be like, absolutely not.
It's very different,
right? So I'm thinking, like, why did we never assert ourselves?
Because we are Gen X and we just did not question authority when we were young. It wasn't until we got older that we went, "Fuck you."
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but when we were young, that this is how we became.
Oh my God.
Who we are today. So anyway, that's why we trust no one. So he did it. I was devastated. Mom, of course, was like, "Bob," you know, there was no real.
So funny.
She wasn't laughing. She was pretty upset. She always was very upset when he did stuff like that because he did that to all of us. He would do hair cutting and it was weird. Anyway.
Like to make us ugly?
I don't know. No, I don't know. So I had a cowboy hat and I wore it to school because I simply was just not going to show it. I'm like, I'll just wear this cowboy hat for 2 weeks till it grows out and it'll be fine.
Thank God hair grows relatively fast.
So I walk in and my teacher goes,
take your hat off.
Jamie, you take your hat off. And I'm like, no. And she's like, yeah. And I go, she's like, there are no hats in class. Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
Is that still a rule?
I think it might be, but no, maybe not, because my son wears a hat to school sometimes.
It's so weird how that was so stupid.
But it was funny because somebody in my
is
office.
Is that like an old school, like, I think it's a
polite. Yeah, it is because the other day, a guy that's younger than me and is in my unit, he was wearing his hat at his desk and it made me uncomfortable.
You're like, you're not supposed to wear a hat.
Totally. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not a rule, you stupid ass. I'm like,
this is not the 40s.
We're not in, yes.
There are no hat racks.
But literally, it was like the first thought in my head.
Isn't that weird how like, trained we are?
Stupid.
See, these are the things you have to break. You have to break
I did. So I was sitting there telling myself, I'm like, God, what is wrong with you?
People are allowed to wear hats indoors.
You can wear a hat. And by the way, he's adorable. It goes with his outfit. It was Jersey Day. So he was wearing all his sports gear. He looked amazing.
So finally, I got up and I mean, like a snail walked to the back of the class to put my hat away into my cubby. And I turned around and the entire class laughed at me.
Oh my God.
The entire class laughed.
Oh my God, because kids are so cruel.
Well,
anyway.
it was because, I mean, honestly, it was like a movie. I refused to remove the hat. And then
it was, everybody's like, why doesn't she want to take her hat off?
And then I take it off and everybody sees the bangs.
And now they know why.
And now they're laughing. And the teacher felt like shit.
Yeah, she did.
And so
did she say you can put it back on?
Yes. So she let me put it back on and I got to wear my hat. And then, no lie, all my friends came to school the next day with cowboy hats on.
Oh, how cute.
The entire class had cowboy hats.
Jamie, that is adorable.
And we wore them for a week straight. Some people even wore plaid shirts. Like they went all out. Some guy showed up and he goes, and I think about it now, his name was Tom. And he finally, he came and he goes, I feel like I can be myself. He wore cowboy boots, lead jeans, and a button-up plaid and a cowboy hat. And he was all in. And now let's not forget, we were in Podunk
I was literally about to say, people should know the school we went to at the time.
Yes.
Well, you graduated in 88. Yes. I graduated in 91. So this was a long time ago. And that part of town that we lived in was a cowboy. They were farms.
It was a very rural place, except for the school we were in was right behind where we lived, which was the first quote unquote yuppie neighborhood.
It was right on the edge of
all these kids were soccer and tennis people.
Yep.
And so they wore polo shirts.
It was half and half.
Well,
because
who knew?
If you lived, if you lived on one side of the street, then your parents had a almond orchard.
And I thought back, I don't know, I thought about it because your son is the age that I was. Yeah. And I was like, I was a trendsetter for a minute. And then finally it started getting out of control, of course, because kids are insane. And the teacher's like, all right, it's time to everybody, let's put our hats away. This has become a distraction. Let's work on our cursive. And I'm like, fine. And so then I took it off and no one left the second time that I
Well, you know what? You're really lucky because I did not have those experiences in school.
I got laughed at by 25 children.
I know, but it's only because the way it came down, right? The way you've explained it. It's like, they were all wondering, like, why is she not taking the hat off?
And then I turn around.
And then the reveal.
I mean, I would have laughed.
Oh, we get it.
I would have laughed. You know, I was like so embarrassed. Covered my forehead. God, it was the worst. I even thought about putting tape on my forehead.
Crying.
I didn't cry, but I was about as beet red as I've ever been in my life.
And I don't know about you. I have always been this way, but when I blush, oh my God, I look like a tomato.
Yes,
like, I'm
me too.
so red.
Your
it's
neck,
awful.
My scalp, everything was
God.
red.
Oh my God.
It was horrible. And you know, when you're that age, it's like you have these little nubbins for boobs, and you're
so awkward.
You're so awkward looking. You have these long gazelle legs, and you just,
oh my God,
you're pale, and your nose is big, and it's like
your teeth are too big for your mouth. I mean, it's just
the last thing you need is short bangs.
You have
when
Dumbo
you don't want
ears.
short bangs.
Yeah,
it was. Please, let's talk about the time that you shaved your freaking cowlick.
Oh, Mom's like, she's like, do it. She's like, I'm telling you not to do it. She goes, but if you insist, she's like, do it.
Well, you had.
She's like, it is going to grow like a weed out of the top of your head.
We've never really discussed the fact that you had this cowlick and you have it right in the front of your hairline.
Have it, yeah.
I know, but it's right in the front of your hairline, and
to the side. It's to one side, yeah.
And it used to stick up like a little rooster thing.
Well, it probably didn't help that the way Mom and Dad always made us wear our hair was like,
yeah. And I mean, I just remember that you would wet it and you would try all the things.
Yeah.
You
what
know?
I should have done was blow dry it. Nobody told me that.
Well, we didn't have proper hair care.
No.
I mean, we were clean. That's not what I mean. It's like we just didn't. No. Nowadays, you would have a flat iron and, you know, all the stuff. But back then, nobody just said, let it fly. It was free.
Natural.
But so you were so sick of it that you shaved it off.
I did.
And I'm like, what did you do? You're like, I shaved it and I'll shave it forever. I'm like, okay.
Because Mom said it's going to get worse if you shave it. And I was like, I don't care. I'll just keep shaving it.
Like for a long time, actually. And you didn't care and you were happy about it.
Yep. Sure was.
Didn't ever have to wear
that. Was where the I know I had to do other things. I have humiliated myself many times, like specifically with hair color.
Oh,
I have been yellow.
Oh, yes.
I have been orange.
Yes.
Yeah, and on all my efforts to become blonde over the years. But
well, no, we figured it out. It just takes money to be blonde.
It does.
You just have to pay.
Lots
you
and
get what you
money.
pay for when it comes to blonde. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then the final thought that I had that was really bizarre, and I don't know why. Remember when waterbeds were a thing?
Yeah, I had one. Jerry and I had one.
You did?
When we first got together, of course, remember I was 24. So this was 1,000 years ago. The first thing we did when we got our own house was we bought a waterbed. We went to La Brise.
Well, I dated somebody who had a waterbed and I hated it. I never once enjoyed it. Never once liked it. Thought it was horrible. Yeah. It was cold.
Oh, okay.
Always cold.
Well, Jerry was an expert. He had always had a waterbed.
That's different.
So, and you got to remember, he's almost 20 years older than me. Do you remember when they had he figured all that shit out for me?
3-inch thick wooden frames.
Yes, that's what I had.
And the mirror.
Do you know what a pain in the ass it was to get rid of that thing 10 years later when we were finally like, okay, I'm done with the waterbed.
Oh, God, I would just pierce it and be like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do that, though. It's so hard to pop those things.
We didn't pop it. He like I said, he was in charge of all of that. But no, the parts to the bed, this, 300-pound headboard and the frame,
heavily shellacked wooden with a mirror. Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, I was thinking about that.
You couldn't give it away. Everyone's like, I don't want that thing.
It's like trying to give someone a trampoline. Trust. No one wants it.
I'm ready to get rid of mine right now. I saw yours and I'm like,
I can't believe that you slept in one for so long. I absolutely hate them.
I had never had one. So
well, they're fun for a minute. It wasn't because they're different.
It was different.
But it's like, no, I remember going, oh, God, all right, fine. Here we are.
Yeah, I just like slosh, slosh, slosh as you're crawling up on it.
And this guy was not exactly a small man. So it was like, it was not I mean, I guess there's some waveless
We had a waveless one.
This one wasn't waveless.
Yeah.
And
that was probably a really long time
I ended up getting wedged in between the water balloon and the frame. No. Oh, I hated it.
Yeah. Waterbeds were,
They try making it. Try changing the sheets on one.
Oh, I did.
They're hell.
We both had to do it because it was the thing is so flipping heavy.
This is one of those things where there's a lot of things coming back into style.
Is it coming back?
I don't know about that, but I'm just saying I don't want to hear about it. Be like, no, the rest of us went through this phase. We don't want to do it.
I remember when you used to have to sign like waivers and stuff when you were renting an apartment or something.
Sometimes they wouldn't allow you.
They wouldn't even let you. They're like, oh, hell no.
No, that thing's going to crash through
600 gallons of water? I don't think so.
You can't even have a freaking 10-gallon aquarium in most apartments. Why would they ever allow a waterbed is beyond me.
Well, you had to buy like insurance and stuff. But I'm glad that's in the past and that's where it needs to stay.
Please. Anyway, all right. Well, do you have an ugly and awkward moment of the week? Because I have a couple.
You start, and then maybe by the time you're finished, I'll...
Oops. Okay. Daryl's going to be mad that I didn't fade out, but I don't care. This is my show. We'll do it the way I want to do it.
Okay.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Tell me. He'll edit it out.
He's saying that it's a 2-hour drive, and that's why he's not going to be here till 2. I'm like, well, where is he? I'm like, if he's somewhere out of town, then no.
That's why he wants to
Maybe they're out of town.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, let's go ahead.
All right. Well, here's my first one. This happened a couple weeks ago. Oh, wait. I shared this one already on last week's episode. I apologize. I only have one.
Okay.
So Daryl had to go to the city last week for the day for work. And so I decided that I would take advantage and I would deep clean the house because I haven't done it since we got back from vacation. And so it was just driving me insane. So I'm like, okay, I have a plan. I'm going to start here. I'm going to work my way around the house and do all the floors. I'm going to like literally move furniture and clean. I don't know how often you do it.
Not that often.
Same. So
not as often as I should.
Well, it had been a minute. And so I felt like I'm going to not shower. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be gross and I'm going to clean the house.
Okay.
So I was doing the floor in the front room by the entryway, swept, mopped, did all the steam clean.
It does feel amazing to do it, by the way.
And it looks really good.
When you finally are like, okay, this is it, and you make the decision that you're going to do it, and then you do it, it's like, oh, I'm so glad I did that.
So I have been pretty clumsy the last couple of weeks. I assume that I'm PMSing to some degree because my boobs are really big and sore. So whenever I'm really clumsy is when I really will injure myself. I'll fall, I'll do whatever. I recognize this, so I use 2 hands when I walk down the stairs, all the things. So I just finished sweeping behind the couch and there was a bunch of fur and dust bunny type stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd also...
Nothing too shocking, hopefully.
No. And then I'd also used some Swiffer. I'd Swiffered a little bit. So I'd Swiffered and then I decided to use the Swiffer to pick up some of these super light, fluffy things that I couldn't just sweep up because they would have just flown away.
Right.
So I grabbed it.
Do you have a decent vacuum cleaner? I don't.
I do. But...
I mean, I have a Shark, but it's really old.
Yeah, no, I have a good one, but it was just easier to do.
No, I feel you because I do that too. Right now, if instead of dragging it around, I'll Swiffer or sweep or a combination of both.
And I'll go back and get like the crumbs and stuff.
And we have animals.
Oh, trust. So I know. It's like, I have huskies.
This is like half a cat back here.
I have so many fucking hair.
It's ridiculous.
From the dogs. So anyway, I grabbed the Swiffer cloth that I had used and I was kind of corralling all of the dust so that I could sweep it up. Mm-hmm. And there's a little guard in between the tile and the hardwood floor. And I was kind of getting under the thing and I was going quickly because I was trying to hurry. And I thought that I had put a huge sliver under my pinky nail.
Oh,
and I pulled away and I was like, I thought for sure that there was like a 1-inch piece of wood under my fingernail on my pinky.
Oh God.
I literally started screaming and it hurt so fucking bad. I ran.
Was it bleeding and all that?
It was bleeding and I ran. And so what I did before I even got to the sink, I started digging under my nail, trying to pull the wood out because I'm like, I don't even want to see it. It'll scare me because I know it's really big. So I put it under the sink. It was bleeding. I didn't see any wood. But it hurt so bad. I felt like I almost burned it. It was that kind of burning sensation. And I'm like, what the hell? So I was icing it for like an hour and a half. The next day I wake up and I look at it and it's so puffy and swollen. And I was like, oh my God, there's wood in there. I just know it.
And not only that, but I don't know if you knew this. I've learned some things about wood because I'm married to a person who does things with wood.
Oh God. I thought immediately I was going to have to get a tetanus shot.
No. The wood that we have on furniture and that we use, it's treated. So they treat the wood. It's not just bare wood.
No.
They treat it and they treat it with chemicals. So when Jerry has gotten splinters or whatever things stuck in his skin, it swells, it gets red. And it gets really, really sore because of the way they treat the wood.
So I was like, oh my God.
Plain wood probably wouldn't hurt near as bad, but
No, probably not. So anyway, I'm like, I'm going to have to lose my finger. I know it. I'm going to have tetanus. I'm going to get, my whole finger's going to turn purple. I have no idea what's going to happen. I woke up the next morning terrified. And I said, I have to perform surgery. I need to get this wood out if there's wood in there. So I get tweezers. I cut the nail down really low so I can actually, I cut the nail down, and I felt an amazing amount of pressure release, and it felt better. I'm like, oh my God.
Maybe maybe the nail was like holding down the splinter.
Take this tweezers and I see there's a little mark on the tip of my finger, and I'm like, that's the wood. I know.
And you're thinking, is it the wood or is it the mark from me hurting myself?
I didn't know. And it didn't get worse.
I've dug at holes that I thought were wood, and it's just actually an injury.
So I started pulling at what I thought was wood, and then suddenly my finger starts bleeding.
Oh no, you're picking up the gash. Yeah,
there's no wood there. And so I was like, okay, that's good news.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
peroxide is your friend in these situations.
Stephanie, it hurt so bad that for 2 days in a row I took Vicodin. It hurt so bad. And the Vicodin is old. It's not even like fresh.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't matter. I don't think they go bad. They probably do eventually.
They do. Well, they lose their strength, I think. But
I've kept some for years and used it on a migraine. I'm like, still works.
Yeah, exactly. And because I don't take it very often.
I don't either.
I took one, and I take them at night, because I'm like, I just want to be able to sleep. I don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to be in pain.
So anyway, the next day, the third day, I told Daryl, he's like, well, how's it going? I go, my finger fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it really freaking hurts, and I don't understand.
Over it, yeah.
And I'm worried that there's something deep in my finger, and it's going to require open like, I'm going to fillet my finger to get some piece of fucking wood out. I don't even know. And
they fester. If there is something in there, it will fester.
That's what I was hoping. And so anyway, I go, you know what? I'm going to go look and see what I did. So I finally, 3 days later, I go back to the scene of the crime, and I look down. It was a fucking nail.
Oh no, now you really do need a tetanus shot.
I stabbed myself with a nail.
Was it like a carpet nail? Like where they nail down the floorboards?
Yes. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
You hurt. You know what? It's a good thing you didn't know, because your mind would have been really screwing with you.
So
you just thought it was a splinter.
Luckily, I've had a tetanus shot in the last 10 years, so I don't need to go get one. Oh, Stephanie.
When you had surgery or whatever, they give you everything.
I don't know if that was when I had it, but I had done something with a rusty nail or a rusty piece of metal.
You also stepped on a rusty nail when we were kids.
When I was a child. Yes, through a tennis shoe.
I guess you're just, this is your thing.
So I've had several in my life, but I definitely have had a tetanus shot within the time period where I wouldn't need another one. But I remember getting it.
Were you the one that got smacked in the forehead with a 2x4 at Dad's shop? Okay, I was pretty sure that was you.
Yes, I still have the scar. That's why no hair grows here.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
You've been awkward my whole life.
So anyway, then I got really furious, and I'm like, this whole time I thought that there was a giant jagged piece of wood in my finger,
at a nail hole,
and all it was a stab wound and blood. And Daryl's all blood force trauma. I'm like, yes. Sure. I'm like, I just would not, and of course I always have to make it even more about myself.
I think this is a good reason to get it made. I'm sorry.
I go,
never again.
I'm like, I would never survive any other time period other than the one I'm living in. I would have died in the Victorian age, right? In the Little House on the Prairie days.
You would have gotten the bubonic plague.
I would have been plagued. I would have had to be buried.
You would have eaten the flea-infested cornmeal that the cheap guy was selling and making bread out of it.
I would have killed my whole family. I mean, who knows? Although for me, it would have been like, I'm super duper smart. I probably wouldn't have died that way, but I would have fallen and injured myself and then died of sepsis.
You would have been like Carrie and fell in the hole.
Yes, that would have been me. I would have been like, they'd be like, well, it's survival of the fittest around here. I mean, she was smart enough not to eat the plague meat, but she just broke her arm and it was over. It was curtains.
A lot of times I'm always, and I shouldn't wonder this because I feel like if I wonder about things, it's going to happen to me. I don't know if you do that, but
I don't even say them out loud.
Right. So that's why I'm like hesitant to even say this.
I'm like, are you superstitious? No, but I just don't talk about anything because I don't want to manifest anything.
Right. Exactly. And so every year we live in our city is called, they call it the City of Trees, but we also have rivers here.
Yes.
And everybody swims in them because our summers are hellacious. Yeah. And every year, a handful of people, it's always more than one usually.
They never
people
wear
drown.
Jackets. They don't know how to swim. They're idiots.
And they swim at these places that are there's tons of people. Yeah, they're notorious. But every year somebody drowns there. But there's always, if you go to these places, there's tons of people. Yeah. It's not like some desolate place where they hit their head on a rock random. No.
Where's Jimmy?
Yeah, and so a lot of times I'm always like, how do you drown? Like, he went under the water and then that was it. I'm like, well, what happened?
Tide, the current.
But you can't swim to the surface?
That's really, really strong. And they tell you that. They're like, these currents are deadly.
Well, clearly, because people die
and
every year.
Every year they say, wear a goddamn life jacket.
Yeah.
When we tell you
they have them for free on the beach.
Yes.
They're hanging on like a stick thing. They're like, here, take one. If
because
you're going to go in.
It's a dangerous river. It's the freaking American River.
I know.
It's...
Well, they drown in both the Sacramento River and the American River.
They do.
And they're very cold because they're run off from the snow.
Straight from the mountains.
From Tahoe, yeah.
Like, I always, lest we forget that before we inhabited this place like parasites, this was a very rugged, dangerous part of the world.
Was. Yeah, yeah. It flooded and stuff, yeah.
All the time.
Well, we have, what is those people that died up in Tahoe? The Donner Party?
They ate each other. That's how bad it is here. And now we couldn't
get out. Now we're going out like, how did you die up here? There's roads everywhere. I would have just kept walking through the snow.
I don't understand why you guys couldn't just make a fort.
Right.
Make a fire, for God's sake. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because they had 90-year-olds who were trying to find a better life.
Right. And children and women.
Or the indigenous came and
well,
went, look at these motherfuckers. What are you idiots doing, you dummies?
Let them eat each other. This is better.
Let's just watch it.
Yeah.
Let's just watch what they do.
So true.
We'll save the baby, but come on.
Yeah. No.
That would be us.
That's why, I don't know. That's why Jerry doesn't understand why I get fascinated with stories. Like Alive, that movie with that plane
Oh my
crash,
God. I read the book.
I read the book too. That's what made me watch the movie, actually, was the book. But yeah, I read these stories of survival, and I'm like,
it's amazing what you will do if you have the will to live.
I know. We've had that conversation.
You would be amazed.
We're like, would we eat each other? Would you slice a sliver of meat off my ass if you were starving?
Yeah.
I would too.
I think I would.
I would be like, look, my body is safe for my sister and her body is safe for me. No one else can eat her but me.
And if we died, I mean...
I'd be like, go ahead and eat me.
Well, you know how... Oh, well, we read how they did it. They literally turned them over because they didn't want to see their faces.
And they froze them too. Yeah. No, totally. Wouldn't you?
Yes.
No one wanted to do what they were doing.
First of all, I'd be like, you know what?
It was pure survival.
Only reason. And I'd be like, she would want me to do this, trust. She'd want me to live. She'd want me to carry on. I know.
And honestly, the fact that they lived
is...
Right. Now, if they did all of this cannibalism and then they all died, we'd all be like, oh my God, like what was going on?
Yeah, that would
But the fact that they survived, then it's like, okay, I think we can all live with the fact that they survived.
It's like, I would eat leather seats before I would eat a human. I'm like, I would too, but I mean, after a while,
they did.
They ran out of shit to eat.
They just did whatever. Yeah. There was no bark to eat. There was no trees.
They were on the top of a mountain.
Yes, definitely.
Horrifying. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's the show.
Yeah, sorry I don't have an ugly and awkward moment. I'm sure I do.
Please.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear how your son's little birthday party goes. I'm sure you will have one.
Yeah, well.
I'm sure you will have an awkward moment.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway, so yeah, we're going to do a couple more shows and then we're going to take a quick break for the holidays. Okay. And then, of course, as we get closer to the end of the year, shows will start to kind of come in intermittently.
Well, it's always fun to do a show post-holidays.
Absolutely.
Stuff always happens.
Yes. So so we have 2 more weeks of shows, but we will absolutely be having a little break for Thanksgiving, and then God only knows what's going to happen at the end of the year. We're going to just do all kinds of crazy fun shit.
I have a great schedule work-wise for the holidays this year, so we'll have plenty of time to record and keep everybody up to date.
We'll probably have really cool, like, special show kind of, like, content.
Yeah, are we allowed to play Christmas music without getting sanctioned or something?
I think there's license-free Christmas music. We'll have to find some. That will be fun. We'll do a Christmas party. We'll do a Christmas party episode. That would be fun.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have producer Deb make some Christmas holiday drinks.
Oh, my God. A holiday cheer for all of us to hear. And then I know we don't sell a ton of merch because we're not that big yet.
Yeah.
But I did create a new Christmas mug.
Good. I love mine.
It's up, and I was going to get you one for Christmas this year.
You're so sweet. My sister, and we do buy these things, by the way, and she always buys me whatever it is that she, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful.
The new Christmas mug is an ugly Christmas mug. It's called This Is My Ugly Christmas Sweater. And it's really, it's white with blue.
Cute.
It's really cute.
Love.
So you can find the link on our,
and they're good mugs, by the way. I don't know if anybody is listening.
I have
or cares.
The mugs are great. Absolutely.
They're big. They're not too big, but they're big enough. Yeah. For me, I don't like little, I kind of guzzle my coffee. I don't guzzle it. I mean, I
glug mine.
Once it gets to a certain temperature, it's like going down.
It's like Red Bull.
Yeah. And so I need a significant mug.
Same.
And ours are. So I love them.
I know. It's a perfect mug for hot chocolate and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.